Howdy everyone, it's Sam. Welcome to the Wobble Enjoy Sports channel. If you're new around here, hope I can get you to consider liking the content and subscribing to the channel. But if you are a regular around these here parts, thank you very much for the continuous support. I had to cram this episode in, but I'm glad that I'm doing it anyway. I did myself my NRL Team of the Year. This is my NRLW Team of the Season. I had to put out a poll for the very first position of my Team of the Year because I was a little bit buggered on what to do. I put out the following poll. It was asking, who do you think is the fullback of the year? Because I genuinely couldn't split them, to be honest with you. And I was leaning towards Avania Polite. Thank goodness, though, I have found the time to actually go back into the season and look at what Tamika Upton did, because for some god unearthly reason, I thought to myself, Tamika Upton was like good in round number one against the St. George Illawarra Dragons, but she wasn't like her impactful, powerful self. You know, she only ran for about 249 meters in that game and set up a try. I think she even scored one as well. I have to give my fullback of the year by a whisker to that lady, Tamika Upton. She hit the ground running, but not as heavily as Avania Polite, but boy howdy, she has absolutely come home with a wetter sail, with more wind in the sails than Avania Polite. Her past 3 weeks or so, Tamika Upton for the Newcastle Knights has been outstanding. And I think this might be the second year in a row, potentially. Sam Bremner would have won it, but for me anyway, Tamika Upton has been the best fullback in the game for the past 2 years, even though Sammy Bremner did have herself a wear of a year last year. Avania Polite this year, Tamika Upton stands above the rest in the fullback position for 2023. The wingers for 2023 in the NRLW. This was a really interesting read to see who I would select, and I didn't think at the start of the year I'd be selecting either of these two ladies to be in my team of the year or the wingers of the season. And one of them is a rookie. Does that make her rookie of the year? Well, stand by. So, my wingers for 2023 in the NRLW, Newcastle Knights rookie Sheridan Gallagher, and for the West Tigers, Jakaya Whitfield. It is not doing her enough justice for her season this year. But just look back to the game against the Newcastle Knights, and Jakaya Whitfield made that try-saving effort from Roach, who had an intercept. Jakaya Whitfield was faster than the friggin' Flash that day. But you also look at her stats as well for a winger. She has 70 tackle busts, bro, and her defense in a pretty nice defensive side for the West Tigers is actually pretty bloody good as well. Looking over to Sheridan Gallagher now, she has scored tries on her ear this season. And no disrespect to Jasmine Strange, who's had herself quite the year. Sheridan Gallagher's running for more meters. She has way more tackles. And do I think that she's better than the Roosters wingers this year? Yes, I do. Do I think she's been better than the Gold Coast or the I think Sheridan Gallagher has, like, I don't know, like, kind of gone underrated in 2023. She's had, for a rookie, for someone who's only been playing the game for, I think, a year or 18 months or so, Sheridan Gallagher absolutely killed it this season, and congratulations to her. She is an absolute find. And Jakaya Whitfield, she's been around for a couple of seasons now, and with another year with this West Tigers unit, with this core group of players, this West Tigers side with Jakaya Whitfield as an attacking weapon could go a hell of a lot higher, go into finals football this time next season. So my wingers of the year, Sheridan Gallagher from the Knights and Jakaya Whitfield from the West Tigers. My centres for 2023 is a little bit of the same story, but it is very much the old buck and the new buck, basically. My centres for 2023, Isabel Kelly and Cronulla Sharks debutant / rookie Anessa Biddle. Starting with Isabel Kelly, sorry. Isabel Kelly, I thought she was another one that was just playing at a nice level consistently all throughout, but she's played every single game this season. She has been in everything. You read into her stats, and no, stats aren't everything, but she's just been that glue. She's just been that everything for the Sydney Roosters that's just kept it together. There's been another player to contribute to their success this season, but I think Isabel Kelly's numbers, I think her presence, and looking into the games that she's played in, Isabel Kelly has been one of, if not the most consistent centre for 2023. The other one, however, is Anessa Biddle, who Cronulla Sharks fans, from what I can gather, may not be the messiah, but a lot of people have fallen in love with Anessa Biddle. She is a no bullshit center that has just carved up for 8 games. She hasn't played every single game, but her numbers are better than more than three-quarters of the centers in the competition this season. So it's an absolute kudos to Anessa Biddle, and here's to the next 10 years of your career, young woman. So Anessa Biddle and Isabel Kelly are my centers for 2023. My 5'8" for 2023, this one was a little bit deeper that I had to dig into, but I was looking at Zahara Temera, and I thought she was a halfback for a little while there, but she's been playing primarily 5'8", then she's got to be given a hell of a lot of credit. She must be recognised for the efforts that she's put in and given towards the Canberra Raiders for making them go that close to making the finals in their inaugural season. Zahara Temera, I've got a bit of a soft spot for. She's been fantastic in 2023. But this woman that I'm about to mention is pretty damn close to winning the whole freaking thing. Taryn Aiken for the Sydney Roosters. Aiken partnered Brigginshaw for 2, 3, 4 years up there at the Brisbane Broncos, won a competition or two with Ali Brigginshaw. She's learnt from the best, and Aiken has taken what she's learned under Ali Brigginshaw or with Ali Brigginshaw, and she's evolved along with this Sydney Roosters outfit that's been coached by John Strange to a T. She's hanging out with the Jessica Sturgis and an Isabel Kelly as well, Millie Boyle and Keely Davis, bro. Taryn Aiken's game has gone to a completely different level in 2023. And there's a huge case to be made that she is going to finish with the Dally M medal wrapped around her neck by the end of the season. Taryn Aiken has scored some long-range tries. She's been responsible for some kick, chase, gather tries as well. She's done some so many good things in attack. Defensively, still sound, but Taryn Aiken for me, 5'8" of the year over Zahara Temera. Taryn Aiken for me, number 6 for 2023. The halfback for 2023. This was pretty difficult. There was Jesse Southwell for the Newcastle Knights. Newcastle Knights finished on top of the ladder with the minor premiership. And I looked to another woman who I just mentioned then, and I don't feel bad about making this decision, to be honest with you. My halfback for 2023 is Ali Brigginshaw. Ali Brigginshaw has taken this Brisbane Broncos side who has, for half the season, played average in 2023 and just dragged them, kicking and screaming, into the finals, put them on her back, and she's just gone, I will take you there. But legitimately as well, how many individual tries has she scored this season? She scored a cracker in round number 1. She scored a cracker in the final round of the regular season against the Dragons. She has worked her ass off in 2023. And I think Jessie Southwell has had her game helped with those around her. That's not discrediting her talent, her skills, or whatever. And of course, those around you make your game better. But I just think Ali Brigginshaw should be commended. And I can't get over the fact that she's literally dragged this entire club, this entire team, all the way to the final series. not single-handedly, because she has had an incredible partner in crime in the form of Gail Broughton. I've got to give Ali Brigginshaw the halfback of 2023. Again, with all due respect, is it just me, or were the hookers for 2023, did any of them really punch through that ceiling? Did any of them really start tapping on that glass roof? It was, I don't know, it just in game, I just wasn't ever quite blown away by any hookers in 2023. Statistically, there are some great things that have been produced, but just there hasn't been like a wow standout performance from a hooker in 2023. Correct me if I'm wrong. Please come in and correct me if I'm wrong. So I look at uh, Destiny Brill, who has double the amount of running meters, but her kicking game was almost non-existent for 2023. She's probably scored double the amount of tries as well. Um, I just think that one of these days she's going to be turned into a lock, and that's going to be her position with a few moments of scooting out a dummy half or what have you. Whatever needs to be done in a lock position will be done by her. So for a good season, a pretty good season that Destiny Brill had, I couldn't give her one of the hookers of the season. So I look at Team 1 and Team 2, Newcastle Knights and the Sydney Roosters. So I'm looking at Keely Davis and I'm looking at Olivia Higgins. And this is a flip of the coin, to be honest with you. I really, I'm gravitating towards Olivia Higgins, but I've got to give it to Keely Davis for 2023. Keely Davis in the attacking, kicking department has been a lot craftier than most of her counterparts in 2023. Her running game, while not as explosive as Destiny Brill, is much better than most too. And she's played a massive part with try assists as well. That's the other thing. Her try assists are good for 2023. So for me, Keely Davis is the hooker for 2023. Let's get into the big boppers now, the front rowers for 2023. Ooh, to give a clear cut favourite would be incredibly difficult, but I am really comfortable with who my starting props are for 2023. We've got Shannon Marto from the Gold Coast Titans and Ellie Johnston from the Cronulla Sutherland Sharks. Let's start with Ellie Johnston. Has run for the most amount of meters. I double checked it. I hope I'm right in saying this. But she ran for just over 1,100 meters in 2023. That is more than any of the other high profile props in the game that I looked at over these past couple of days. Ellie Johnston ran her ass off in 2023. In her career, she's got 9 tries. She scored 6 of them in this season. She has had a blockbuster year for 2023. I'm so incredibly happy for her. And her form, let's just touch on this for a moment. Her form warrants a Jillaroos squad selection. That's how good she's going in 2023. Meanwhile, you've got the monster from the Gold Coast and Shannon Marto, who is doing just about the same. Shannon Marto has been arguably the most important piece to the Gold Coast Titans' success. Avanya Polite has been fantastic. Chapman, when she's on the field, she's done some good things as well. But I think Shannon Marto's fierce nature, her competitiveness, and the way that she's able to bend the line backwards at will. She played for the Mackay Cutters earlier this season, and she was around the likes of a Tallulah Tillett, Emma Mantleman, a lot of the North Queensland Cowboys girls, and I was crossing everything that she was going to be a North Queensland Cowboy in our inaugural season, because what she was doing for the Mackay Cutters was so important. She was so vital to the Mackay Cutters, nearly getting into the grand final, only just falling short in the semis. Shannon Marto has been brilliant for the Gold Coast Titans in 2023. My props, and I'd love to hear your opinion on this. Shannon Marto and Ellie Johnston are my props for 2023. Edge forwards for 2023 in the NRLW. I'm going to say this, and it'll be interesting to see how many of you get this as soon as I say it. They look like sisters. They pretty much play like sisters as well. They are very identical in the way they play the game. Both used to play for the Sydney Roosters. One of them still does, actually. The other one has shifted up to Newcastle. My edge forwards for 2023, Yasmin Clydesdale and Olivia Kernick. Really happy for Olivia Kernick. She had a breakout season, I think, last year, whether it be season 2021 or 2022. She broke out in 2022, and she's been rewarded with a State of Origin jersey this season as well, or another one. And I get around Olivia Kernick big time, man. She is a workhorse big time, and the same can be said for Yasmin Clydesdale too, who in some circles, probably the ones that are wearing red and blue jerseys up in the Hunter Valley, some are saying, declaring that Clydesdale could be a smoky for the Dally M Medal Player of the Season. I don't think that she'll get it, but there's a high probability she'll finish inside the top 10 and possibly even the top 5 for sure. So Yasmin Clydesdale and Olivia Kernick just killing it. Just absolutely killing it in their positions. And I say that they've been doing it for 2 years straight now, to be perfectly honest with you. So I've got to give it to Kernick and Clydesdale. With all due respect to Georgia Hale from the Gold Coast Titans, with all due respect to Keely Joseph from the Sydney Roosters, I got to say, I think this was probably the easiest decision to make. And she is going to go close herself to winning the whole damn thing in 2023. My lock for 2023, aging like wine, going better than friggin' ever, tougher than ever, is Simaima Taufa for the Canberra Raiders. I legitimately don't need to say anymore. Before I get into my bench of 2023, I want to get into my rookie for 2023. And I've mentioned Anessa Biddle, who's been who I've selected to be the centre for 2023. You'd think that that would make me give a tick to her to give the Rookie of the Year to. No, just you look at Sheridan Gallagher, one of my wingers of the year. She's a rookie as well. She's absolutely killing it. She's going to go really friggin' close to winning it officially come awards night. But for me, no, I only just don't give it to Gallagher. For me, and you might call me biased if you've actually been watching me all these years now, because I've been talking about her for a long time. But I think the Rookie of 2023, even though she doesn't feature as the 5/8 of the year, my Rookie of the Year is Shante Kirioratu. For the Gold Coast Titans to sign up Talia Fueme-Ono and for her to go down inside the first half of the first game of the year, all the pressure then goes on to not just Shante Kirioratu, but her under-19 State of Origin teammate and halfback, Sienna Lafipo. A lot of pressure was put onto those two ladies, and Shante Kirioratu has helped guide the Gold Coast Titans back to finals football in 2023. Sienna Lafipo has done her job at the start of the season. And you've also got Lauren Brown, who has had to be the Mr. Fix-It or Mrs. Fix-It once again, going from hooker, playing in the halfback position as well. A lot of good stuff I can say about Lauren Brown. But for Shante Kirioratu to be there in round number 1, be there throughout the whole entire season, that's a lot. That's a lot of good stuff to say about Shante Kirioratu. Her kicking game, while it's not perfect, you can see that there is an elite level coming that she is going to produce in her kicking game in the coming years. She is going to be so dominant in about 2 or 3 seasons' time that there might be a freaking dynasty. I'll tell ya. I'll give you the hot tip. Shante Kirioratu's Gold Coast Titans might be back-to-back sort of premiers one of these days. That NRLW side, if they stick together, will bring home the first ever piece of gold for the Gold Coast region. I'm telling you, and Shante Kirioratu will be a massive part of it. So I've just been super, super impressed with Shante Kirioratu. To do it alone for half the year with her teammate that is even just a little less experienced than her. I think Shante Kirioratu, well, not I think, I believe she is the rookie for 2023. And here's my bench for 2023. Jessie Southwell had to be put in there somewhere. I'll put her as jersey number 14. The two big props that I would bring off the bench, Millie Boyle, even though she's missed a handful of games, her numbers are still impressive. Her side is still sitting pretty in second on the ladder. Brianna Clark has been a fierce boulder. She has been a weapon for the Brisbane Broncos this season, and I've been thoroughly impressed with her. Georgia Hale, I'd have as jersey number 17. Her stats speak for themselves. Her leadership could just about get her the captain of the year as well, but I have to have her involved, and she would be my jersey 17. And in jersey number 18, while I absolutely I absolutely am infatuated with this woman, Ivania Palete. I'd have her as my jersey number 18. She only just misses out on the fullback of the year by a whisker to a Tamika Upton, who's just absolutely slayed it in 2023. Yo, so that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed the video. What do you think of my team of the year? I bet you there's a couple of ins and outs, I'm sure, but please let me down in the comments section below. Yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys in the next episode. Take care. Adios.